Granddad is nasty.
Liquor than fire.
I'm always very upfront with you guys about my biases. And I'm going to be honest with you, I do not like Shannon Sharpe. I do not think he's a good person. It's personal for me, okay? Last year being the toughest year on my family in our entire life. And as soon as I got fired from the Daily Wire, there were certain people who I had done nothing to, who I had never spoken about, who were just like dancing on what they perceived was my grave.
Candace has given y'all her butt to kiss for 2 decades. And the moment, what they do? They can't fire me, they can't fire me. The hell you say? Now look at her.
2 seconds later.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup. Coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys.
Come on, they talk to us. How this dating thing? Because it's Mo is different now than when you and I.
It's different, baby. I'm grateful I'm not 56 and trying.
But you tried to say what you tried to say. Mo,
I'm looking right at you.
I know you looking at me.
I ain't backing down. You better take your old ass and get somebody to love you.
Mo.
Alright guys, so the biggest purpose of this video really is to say careful who you hit, careful who you kick, careful who you make fun of when they're down and out, because you never know when your day is coming. That's a message to myself, that's a message to you all. Careful who you make fun of, because you never know when the shoe will be on the other foot. It's never fun when the rabbit's got the gun. And as we all know, Shannon Sharpe is currently involved in a $50 million lawsuit where he has now come out and publicly denied the claims and just said that this is a public shakedown and they're just going after black men. And I would also be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that Jason Whitlock, who used to work with Shannon Sharpe at Fox Sports, actually came out yesterday and revealed that this is not the first time that Shannon Sharpe has been said to have a fetish for choking women, as he said that this has been a rumor about Shannon Sharpe amongst his colleagues for years.
Shannon has put on his inside voice, his, hey, this is who I really am. Now that, he's taken all the ghetto-ness out, all the country boy out, and now, so we're seeing an authentic version of Shannon Sharpe. He plays a character on television and in his public space, and these are just facts. Not the first time I've heard a young woman, claim choked by Shannon Sharpe. Not the first time. And, we work together at Fox Sports. There's other people that have heard, this, again, I left Fox Sports in 2020. This woman he's talking to here, they didn't meet till 2023.
But I want to remind you all of a couple of things that Shannon Sharpe did last year that makes me believe that this is karma. So early last year during the presidential race, as we all know, Candace Owens was actually fired from the Daily Wire after being labeled an anti-Semite for all her claims about Israel and quote-unquote special treatment when it comes to the Jewish community. Well, just before she was fired and right after she was fired, Candace Owens would start making appearances on places like the Breakfast Club and the Joe Budden podcast, etc. And when it would eventually become public knowledge that she was fired, Shannon Sharpe almost wasted no time, and he had a woman on his podcast by the name of Amanda Seales. And if you don't know who that is, she's basically an activist. She's also a comedian. She's also a writer, and he had her on his podcast and decided to just randomly go after Candace Owens. To my knowledge, apparently him and Candace Owens don't even know each other, never met each other, but decided to take that moment to make fun of Candace Owens.
Help me understand this.
I wasn't ready for that.
Sometimes, and it's happened before, people in our community forget that they're black.
The bulb.
And they try to appease a group of people that's probably never going to embrace them. And once they realize that, guess who's the first group to take them back?
I don't know her.
You know, I I ain't say nobody's name, Amanda. You don't even know who I'm talking about.
I don't know.
How you know who I'm talking about? But we've seen this happen before. Rest his soul, O.J. Simpson. You know, he had the famous quote, "I'm O.J., I ain't black." Even Michael Jackson went through what he went through, rest his soul.
Right.
Even Kanye had to be reminded. And now Miss Owens, who, I don't want no black pilots, I don't want this, I don't want that. And now we can't keep off our black media station. When before she gave us her butt to kiss. Now, if I'm lying, if I'm speaking out of turn, people, y'all correct me. But y'all know I'm telling the truth. Now, you're talking about somebody that's always uplifted his community. And I was one of the first guys that had a viral moment with Cat Williams, and they couldn't wait. They couldn't wait to attack me. But Candace has given y'all her butt to kiss for 2 decades. And the moment, what they doing? They can't fire me. They can't fire me. The hell you say? Now look at her.
It's not her fault.
Whose fault is it? No. Let's not take
Let
that.
her back in. The spaces that let her back in.
Oh, okay.
Now, as a reminder, as I'm sure a lot of you all know already, Candace Owens is not necessarily admired by the black community. Well, at this point, I can't even say most of the black community because I think more black folks actually support Candace Owens now after she got fired from the Daily Wire as opposed to while she was with the Daily Wire. And that is because of the reason that she was fired. That's what makes everything so ironic, because Shannon Sharpe's argument is that look at her now. Ha ha ha. She got fired, didn't think she can get fired. And they showed her and reminded her that she's black. That's actually very interesting because if you're claiming, just like most other black folks that don't like Candace Owens, that Candace Owens was basically able to make a career off of saying a lot of bad things about the black community, and she was willing to basically say it out loud in front of other white people and get paid for it. And I can understand any black person that feels, or any so-called black person that feels skeptical and feels a way and feels resentment towards Candace Owens for it. You can call her whatever you want, but you can't call her a liar. Candace Owens, for the most part, has always told nothing but the truth about the black community. That's a fact. The problem is a lot of folks don't like that she was paid for it by white folks to push a narrative about the black community when they felt like she won't be consistent and do the same thing about the white community. Well, that's what makes everything so ironic, because Shannon Sharpe is making fun of Candace Owens for doing just that. She lost her job, for every reason that we have to believe, for making fun of white Jews in Israel and the special treatment that they try to get. Her biggest thing is that the black community has been guilty of playing the victim card. And now she has accused the Jewish community of doing the same thing, for the most part, not all Jews. And what makes it even worse is, since Candace Owens got fired, she's only doubled down. I mean, when you look at her content since she left the Daily Wire, I would say that about 70-80% of her content in some regard is surrounding the Israel issue, the anti-Semitic, anti-free speech laws that they're trying to pass. And she's just doubled down. She hasn't backed off any bit. And this is the same Shannon Sharpe, by the way, that had the nerve and audacity to have Kamala Harris on his podcast to give her one of the softest and easiest interviews you'll ever witness in your life. There was no challenging her. There was no critical questions. There was no hardball questions. All softball questions. And the proudest moment of the interview was the comment section, because it was a bunch of black folks. The same so-called black people that Shannon Sharpe tries to pander to when it comes to race saw straight through this interview, and they made me proud. If you go through the comment section, I am not exaggerating. On that interview, you literally see 98% of the comment section clowning Shannon Sharpe and Kamala Harris. Softball questions, she gives the same answers. She's lying and Shannon Sharpe isn't calling her out on it. What is she going to do for the black community? This is the same woman that said that she's not going to prioritize the black community. This is the same person he had on his podcast, and he praised her. Well, if you ever needed a reason to, I don't want to say like Candace Owens, but at least respect her and see that she's consistent if she's nothing else, will be after you hear her take on the Shannon Sharpe $50 million lawsuit. As she covered the lawsuit, and in typical Candace Owens fashion, she actually defended Shannon Sharpe.
Granddad is nasty.
You've been fired.
I'm always very upfront with you guys about my biases. And I'm going to be honest with you, I do not like Shannon Sharpe. I do not think he's a good person. It's personal for me, okay? Last year being the toughest year on my family in our entire life. And as soon as I got fired from the Daily Wire, there were certain people who I had done nothing to, who I had never spoken about, who were just like dancing on what they perceived was my grave.
Candace has given y'all her butt to kiss for 2 decades. And the moment, what they doing? They can't fire me. They can't fire me. The hell you say? Now look at her.
Now look at you, Mr. Shannon Sharpe. Ooh, that Candace karma comes quick. He's now in a very serious predicament because a young woman has come forward and she's alleging that she was raped and she was threatened by Shannon Sharpe during what she is describing as a quote unquote rocky consensual relationship.
This is a shakedown. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media.
So here's my take. I think it is probably true that he was set up. It's hard to feel bad for him, but of course, in the courtroom, it's not about who you feel bad for or whether or not you think he's a moral man. It is about whether or not you believe that Shannon Sharpe raped this young woman. And with what I've seen in terms of the text messages thus far, I do not believe that it is likely that this was a rape scenario. It does look like a shakedown to me. And that's difficult for me to say as someone who does not appreciate this man whatsoever.
I know grown men that don't have the integrity that Candace Owens has. That's a fact. I know I talk about the woman a lot on this channel. It's actually not by design. It's just a lot of her stuff trends quite a bit. And I happen to find myself agreeing. Remember, she's one, I've talked about it on this channel. She's one of the biggest reasons that made me at least question a lot of things in politics. I've always thought for myself. But it was when I started to watch Candace Owens' content, when she's debated T.I. and Killer Mike and all of them and Tamika Mallory, that I started to look at politics a little bit different. I'm like, maybe we do have a victim mindset. I think two things can be true at the same time. I think and I still think this now, I think Candace Owens does pander to the white community a little bit at times. I think there is an element of almost wanting to be accepted by them. And I partially feel that way because of her interactions with people like Matt Walsh. She has a different energy when she's talking to him. And I cringe a little bit. And I'm like, is she married or is she not married? I don't know. It just comes off as strange. She tries to be as non-controversial as possible when she's talking to white conservatives. I don't know. It's just a different energy. But for the most part, I agree with the woman's politics. I think she has more integrity than most people, let alone most men that I know. And this was a great example of it. And I actually share her opinions. I think that this is a shakedown. I think Shannon Sharpe is partially responsible for this. Like, I've never been 50 before. I don't even have children yet. But to imagine that you out here recording sex tapes with 19-year-old OnlyFans models, I'm like, come on, dude. Come on, bro. And I don't know if the phone call is actually real or not. To be honest, it kind of sounds like AI.
Everything I say, you're just going to like get mad at and you're just going to hang up on me. So I feel like...
I'm not going to hang up on you. Here's what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby. You want to be a dick to me now, so...
I don't want to be... Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the out of you when I see you. Thank you.
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter.
But his phone call turns out to be real, where he's telling this woman that he's going to choke her even after she says that she doesn't want to be choked. Even if she butched the interview, butched the phone call to make it sound out of context because maybe she was asking for it in that same phone call. Maybe they've done it before and she has a fetish for being choked. It just doesn't look good when you're pushing 60 and she's not even 20 yet. It's just like, sheesh, bro. I know us men, we're typically into younger women. It's just nature, but that's like a 40-year difference, bro. Like, yikes. It just don't look good. And as much as she could have took this opportunity because of the optics alone and just made fun of you and went after you, she defended you, which speaks more so to her character than it does yours, which I think we should applaud anybody who's willing to do that. Y'all hop in the comment section, give me your thoughts, tell me what you think about this, were you aware of Candace Owens' take? What do you think about the Shannon Sharpe situation? I'd love to hear your thoughts, man. I'm Demetrius. I go by Didi. That's all for this, man. Until next time. Peace.
Oh, yeah. Didi got a podcast.